guys, how you doing again? It's Doc Vinyl here again, and today I'm going to be doing the Essentials. This is one of this new series I'm going to start. It's called the Essentials, kind of a mix match of different genres of music and different albums that should be in your collection. It's kind of cool. I'm going to start, this one is going to be chronological. I'm going to go over 10 albums with one bonus. Different time periods, going through different genres of different albums that really are essential because of the content of each album and different features of them. And some of them are going to be featured at Max J Records. We'll be featuring some on Record Hub for auction and sale, so I'll feature a couple of those, but then I'll be doing other ones too and talking about certain albums that are essential to quality and what have you. So again, pretty cool stuff. I like the genre mix here, and I'll talk about each and every one of the albums as we go through them. So again, this is an essential top 10 kind of thing, and looking pretty good. And let's start with the first one. First one I'm going to start out with is 1954 Dave Brubeck Quartet called Take 5. Great album. Just with Paul Desmond, Dave Brubeck, Eugene Wright, and Joe Morello on drums. This is a classic jazz album. If you're just getting into jazz and you want something to kind of instrumental kind of stuff that has some familiarity with it, and the use of alto, sax, and piano, and bass, your traditional quartet, Time Out is really good. This is a very, very good one. And the tracks on this are great. It starts out with Blue Rondo a la Turk with Dave Brubeck. Great piano intro with a nice arpeggios. Strange Meadow Lark is on that. And then, of course, the famous Paul Desmond piece called Take 5, which is just really amazing. And a great saxophone and very good. That's side A. Side B is 3 to Get Ready. Kathy's Waltz, Everybody's Jumping, very good. Everybody's Jumping is a very good Dave Brubeck piece. Pick Up the Sticks, of course, another Dave Brubeck, and then Audrey. Again, really good stuff. Quality album. This is a re-release. This is the re-release, 180 gram. Great stuff. As you can see right here for Jazz Classics, great, available at Max J Records too. Very highly recommended, and definitely one that I would recommend again for a good jazz sampler. Brubeck Quartet's a great way to start. We'll talk about John Coltrane, Miles Davis, Kenny Dorham, and others in the future, but I just thought we'd start with a Dave Brubeck piece. Really good stuff. A lot of familiarity. Take 5 is one of the songs that a lot of people know. Really good stuff. High quality. Okay, going chronologically, going into the second album is the Beach Boys. Now, there's a lot of Beach Boys songs, and I'm going to do a discography on them one of these days, but I thought I'd start with one of their more familiar albums and one of their better albums, and this, of course, is Pet Shop Sounds. Just a really, really great album. Just really top quality. This is a duophonic stereo original release. Again, I'm available through Max J Records as a auction tomorrow night on Record Hub as a 180 gram re-release. Very good. Pet Shop Sound. This was Wouldn't It Be Nice on side 1. You Still Believe in Me. That's Not Me. Don't Talk. Put Your Head on My Shoulder. Great, great stuff. I'm Waiting for the Day. Let's Go Away for a While. And the great Sloop John B. That's side A. Great stuff. Very, very instrumental album. Very groundbreaking for its time when it came out in 1966, 1967. Side 2 is God Only Knows. I Know There's an Answer Here Today. I Just Wasn't Made for These Times. Pet Sounds, and of course, Caroline No. This is produced by Brian Wilson. Just a really, really great album. And again, if you don't have any Beach Boys in your vinyl collection, this is a great one to start with. Really good, good quality stuff. It's a little bit later than their early stuff, their early Beach music. This is a little bit more involved, a little more intricacies involved. The sonic curtain of sound is amazing. The recording on this is very, very good. Again, high quality. Highly, highly recommend this album. Again, Pet Shop Sounds. Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. This will be available tomorrow night on Record Hub. Highly recommend this one. Okay, going down to change gears. Another band I'm going to feature again, of course, another band that I'm going to talk a lot about and feature separately, of course, is the Beatles. And of course, there's so many good Beatles albums, and you can say, which Beatles albums should we have, and which ones should we do, and but for tonight, we're going to feature Revolver. Okay, Revolver is really one of their first albums right after Rubber Soul, 1966 release. This is just really good. This is the later Beatles period, one of the first introduction of their more sophisticated music, using of different sonic qualities. This has Taxman, Eleanor Rigby, another great one, I'm Only Sleeping, Love You Too, Here, There, and Everywhere, Yellow Submarine, and She Said, She Said. Very, very good on side one. Side two is Good Day, Sunshine. Good Day, Sunshine. Great song. And Your Bird Can Sing, For No One, Dr. Robert, one of my personal favorites. I want to tell you, Got to Get You Into My Life, which has been covered by many bands, and a very good movement, and Tomorrow Never Knows. Again, really, really good quality. This is a great sound. This is a 180 gram re-release. Again, available through Record Hub and other places, but definitely if you don't have a lot of Beatles, this is one of the Beatles albums you really, really should get. It's one of the instrumental albums of the change. This, along with Rubber Soul, are really their two big albums where you get that second phase of Beatles sound and the music that they make. Really, really good. Excellent quality sound recording. The songs are really good. The songwriting's excellent, and it is showing us far better sophistication than the early Beatles, which, I mean, the early Beatles is good for what it is, but this is a far more sophisticated piece, and you could see that this is really showing the Mod Squad of the 1960s. Again, Revolver, the Beatles. Okay. Moving on up to another band that I will be doing separately too, the third band, of course, the Rolling Stones. And there's a lot of great Rolling Stones albums, but this one really is good. This one available too soon. This one's a really, really good album too because it really shows the Stones in the late 60s, early 70s. And then I'm talking about Let It Bleed. Great album. Let It Bleed. Look at the songs of this. Let It Bleed, Love in Vain, Midnight Rambler, very well known. Gimme Shelter, another great song, and You Got the Silver. Side two is You Can't Always Get What You Want, Live With Me, Monkey Man, and Country Honk. Great blues, great sonic tapestry in this album. Very good stuff, very good sophistication of some of the really high quality Rolling Stones recordings. Let It Bleed along with Beggar's Banquet and Aftermath. Really one of the great albums. Really recommend it if you don't have a lot of Rolling Stones. This is a good place to start. London recording. This is the original release. Really good stuff. Okay? High quality. No problem. Okay, moving on up to another album, another band. Of course, this one really needs no introduction, but I'm going to give it a little background. I went over it on my last show on second albums, and of course I'm talking about Led Zeppelin 2. Led Zeppelin 2 is just really top quality. It's a little bit more of an extension of the first album. Lots of blues. This is arguably some of the best Led Zeppelin memorable songs. I mean, we have Whole Lotta Love, What Is and What Should Never Be, one of my favorite songs. The Lemon Song and Thank You on side one. All of those well-known hits. Side two's Heartbreaker and Livin' Lovin' Made, which go together. Ramble On, Moby Dick, and Bring It On Home. This could be, like I said, arguably one of the better Led Zeppelin albums. If you don't have a lot of Led Zeppelin 2 is definitely one you want to have in the collection. It really is, one of the top quality Led Zeppelin albums. I mean, there's so many good ones, of course. I mean, my personal favorite, of course, is I'm sorry, just blanked here for a second. My personal favorite is their fourth album. But the sad part about it is that it's important to get stuff in your collection. You don't want to go out and buy tons and tons of music, but you want to get key albums like Led Zeppelin 2 and 4, probably have most of the hits on it that people want, without getting the greatest hits. And I will cover some greatest hits in this selections here, but I just want to talk a little bit about this particular one, Led Zeppelin 2. Really good, a great album to have, and it's one of those albums you want to listen to top to bottom, front to back. Just great great sound quality. And again, this will be available tomorrow night on a Record Hub auction on 180 gram. Definitely worth getting, and a great recording and a great sonic quality. All right, going on to another album. I'm going to go with David Bowie, and David Bowie's album that I'm going to recommend. Now, there's so many good David Bowie albums, of course, just like Led Zeppelin and other bands. But I'm really going to talk about really one of his big albums that really breaks out into his psychedelia and his glam rock period. And, of course, what I'm talking about here is Ziggy Stardust. This is a 180 gram re-release. This is just such a really good album. This really shows some of David Bowie's great songwriting. This has 5 Years, Soul Love, which one of my favorites, Moon Age Daydream, which was great, featured in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, Starman, and It Ain't Easy. That's side one. Side two is Lady Stardust, Star, Hang On To Yourself, Ziggy Stardust, Suffragette City, great hit, and Rock and Roll Suicide. Really good, lots of good quality music in this, great stuff. Mickey Woodsman's the drummer on this. This, again, is really one of the instrumental albums to have. If you're going to start your Bowie collection, this is a great album to start with. This, along with Space Oddity, really good stuff. The early Bowie stuff, the really great sonic quality. He has some great voices in this. The music is great. The recording quality is great. It's just a top-notch album. Okay, so David Bowie. Moving up chronologically now, moving into the 70s, deep into the 70s now. The next album I'm going to talk about is Fleetwood Mac. Now, there are a couple of good Fleetwood Mac albums, but this album's almost like a greatest hits. It really is. There isn't a bad song on this, and of course what I'm talking about is Rumors. Rumors is one of the best Fleetwood Mac albums. By far the best-selling album that they ever did. This is the second album to feature Stevie Nicks and Christian McVie together. Christian McVie had been in the band before, obviously, but then the two female singers. This is really good with Lindsey Buckingham and John McVie and Mick Fleetwood. Just great stuff. I mean, you know the songs. This starts out with Secondhand News. Great song. One of my favorite underplayed. Dreams, Never Going Back, Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow, Go Your Own Way, and Songbird. Side 2, The Chain, You Make Lovin' Fun, which of course is one of the best songs on here. I Don't Want to Know, Oh Daddy, and Gold Dust Woman. Every one of these songs are big hits. And if you don't have any Fleetwood Mac, this is probably the first one you want to grab. And again, this is really the really good one. Great sound quality, really good use of voicage. The Stevie Nicks and the Christian McVie songs and the way they play off each other and their vocals, very, very good stuff. Top quality, you really can't beat it. And again, if you don't have this, this is definitely one of those vinyl that you definitely want in your vinyl collection. Okay, moving on up to the next one. This is another album, another band that really was big in the 70s and into the early 80s. We're talking about Steely Dan. And this is by far one of my favorite Steely Dan albums. The sonic tapestry of this album is amazing. The use of jazz, the instrumentals, the drumming on this with Steve Gadd. Oh, it's just amazing. Of course, I'm talking about Asia. Asia is just really good. And again, just a high quality piece of music here. The tracks are just so good. You're just looking at Donald Fagen and Walter Brecker there. And the studio musicians on this are just second to none. We start out with Black Cow, Asia, and Deacon Blues. Great stuff. Asia's really good. The drumming by Stephen Gadd are really insane. Got amazing drum fills and leads in that. Side 2 is Peg, which is very well known. Good jazz beat with a nice saxophone. Home at Last, I Got the News, which is really good, and Josie. Again, really, really good. And this really features some really great artists. Asia, the sonic quality, the introduction of all the different instruments and how they played together, and how you have this jazz kind of fusion with rock and roll and blues in it. It's just very well done. And the singing and the words, the songwriting is really good. Good stuff, very much. Okay. Moving on to another genre here, punk rock. I'm going to talk about The Clash, of course, one of my favorite bands. And again, with The Clash, there's a lot of great albums. I love them all, but if you're going to get one album, and this is a double album, I highly recommend London Calling. Okay, and this is the We Are Vinyl one. This is the re-release 180 gram, which has a download, I believe. This is just really amazing. London Calling's great. It really shows and really exhibits The Clash. Their third album really exhibits them at their peak with London Calling, Brand New Cadillac, Jimmy Jazz, Hateful, Rudy Can't Fail. That's side 1. Side 2 is Spanish Bombs. Great song. The Right Profile, Lost in the Supermarket, one of my favorites. Clamp Down, and The Guns of Brixton. Great. Side 3 for the second album is Wrong and Boyo, Death or Glory, another great song. Coca-Cola, and that's a great one. And The Card Sheet. And side 4 is Lovers Rock, Four Horsemen, I'm Not Down, and Revolution Rock. And again, this is the original quad before the breakup of the band with Mick Jones, Joe Strummer, Paul Simons, and Topper Heaton on drums. This is just really great, and the use of the bass and the beats in this are really good. London Calling, everyone knows that song's been used in commercials, everything. This is just really great. This is a really good, solid, standard punk rock album that you really want, and it's just really great. It's the visuals are amazing. Just a really, really good album and a good package to have. And again, if you don't have any Clash, this is a great place to start. Okay, now I talked about some different music. I'm going to do a little reggae, and of course, can't be anything reggae without Bob Marley. And of course, one of the great ways with Bob Marley is so many good albums, but really, if you want to kind of break in, and Legends is really the way to go. And this is Legends, and this will be featured in Record Hub tomorrow night for sale and for auction. Great stuff. This is 75th anniversary. This is the Wailers. This just features all his good songs. This is really good quick, cheap way to get all his good stuff on vinyl. This has Is This Love, No Woman, No Cry, Could You Be Loved, Three Little Birds, Buffalo Soldier, great song, Get Up and Stand Up, Stir It Up. Side 2 is Only Love, People Get Ready, one of their biggest hits. I Shot the Sheriff, amazing, amazing cover. Waiting in Vain, Redemption Song, Satisfy My Soul, Exodus, and Jamming. We be jamming down. Oh, just really, really good. I mean, you can see right here, just a really great album. Just good stuff. And the recording on a 180 gram is really good. And again, this will be available tomorrow night. Highly recommend the Bob Marley. Good stuff. Good stuff. And again, in the collection. And this is a good way, just like a primer to get you going. Now the bonus one is not my favorite musician, but you can't deny him. Some of the stuff is just so snappy and going. Of course, I'm talking about Michael Jackson, and you know, you really got to have the Michael Jackson Thriller album. And this is one of those albums that, you know, it's available. You really should have it. I like this one along with Off the Wall. This one's just really great. I mean, you know, this is the Michael Jackson in his prime. This is the album that really made him a megastar. This has Wanna Be Starting Something, Baby Be Mine, The Girl's Mine with Paul McCartney, which is a great duo. Thriller's on this, Beat It's on this, Billie Jean, Human Nature, Pretty Young Thing, and The Lady in My Life. Just a really, really good album. Well recorded, great to have Paul McCartney with him, and just really good stuff overall. Just a really good album, and this is really highly recommended just to have in your collection, just to have that beat going on there. I put him along there with Rick James and others that would be great to have, but yes, very much Michael Jackson. Okay. So that's the top 10 with the bonus on Michael Jackson. Again, this is the Essential 10. And again, the 3 that'll be available tomorrow on Record Hub, just thought I'd put it out there just for people so they know, you know, what, you know, what's going to be available for auction. The 3, they're all different too, which is cool, the 3 essentials. And of course, the 3 essentials are going to be these 3 right here, which would be Pet Sounds, Led Zeppelin 2, and Bob Marley, okay? Again, Led Zeppelin 2, Pet Sounds, and of course, Bob Marley, okay? So those will be available if you're interested. They're a good way to get them in your collection, good stuff. So that's my essentials for this week, and I thought I'd cover that up. And I'll do a couple other essential shows, but I'm also going to go back to band coverage and stuff. And I got a couple things coming up and lined up. I got some maybe some Eagles and some Doobie Brothers and some other bands, some pretty cool stuff. So yeah, so that's the essentials. I hope you guys liked it, and thumbs up, and let's all stay safe. And I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.